Imagine you are 30 years old. You wake up on a completely normal Tuesday morning. You open your phone, and you see an official email from your company's human resources department. The email says that you have been promoted. Along with this promotion, your annual salary has just been raised to a massive new milestone. Maybe you are now making $80,000 a year. Maybe you are making $100,000 a year. When you see that number on your screen, a sudden, heavy wave of relief washes over your entire body. You take a deep breath. You sit back in your chair. You feel a sense of calm that you have not felt in a very long time. You naturally, but mistakenly, assume that you have finally made it. You believe that crossing this specific income line mathematically separates you from the daily financial struggles of regular people. You automatically think that a higher salary guarantees permanent safety. You think you are safe. But let us look at the real numbers of the economy right now. Let us look at your actual life. You are making $100,000 a year. That sounds like a lot of money, but after the government takes out your taxes, you are left with roughly $70,000. Now, let us look at your bills. The average rent for a nice, safe apartment in a good city is around $2,500 a month. That is $30,000 a year, gone. You need a car to get to work. The average car payment, plus insurance and gas, is about $800 a month. That is nearly $10,000 a year gone. You have to eat. Groceries for one person, plus a few normal dinners out with friends, can easily cost $800 a month. That is another $10,000 gone. You have student loans. You have a cell phone bill. You have health insurance costs. Suddenly, your massive $100,000 salary has completely disappeared. At the end of the month, you look at your bank account, and you only have $200 left. You are making six figures, but you are still living paycheck to paycheck. You are not rich. You are just surviving at a more expensive level. The education system you went through for over a decade completely failed to prepare you for this reality. School taught you how to pass tests. It taught you how to follow instructions. It taught you how to be a good worker. But it never taught you the simple rules of money. It never taught you about the concept of fake prosperity. It deliberately kept you in the dark. It hid the truth from you. And the truth is this: getting a higher salary does not break you out of the cage. It simply makes the cage a little bit bigger. It gives you a cage with nicer paint and more comfortable seats. But you are still inside the cage. You are still completely dependent on a system that controls your time, your energy, and your future. You are still trapped in the rat race. You just do not realize it yet, because the money makes you feel comfortable. To understand this trap, you do not need to look at complicated math or complex global economics. You just need to look at a very simple example of someone who had all the money in the world, but still lost their freedom. Think about a famous Hollywood actor. Imagine an actor who is at the absolute top of the world. He stars in blockbuster movies. He makes millions and millions of dollars for every single film he does. Over the course of his career, he earns more than $150 million. For a normal person, $150 million is an amount of money that is impossible to even imagine. It is enough money to buy anything you could ever want. It is enough money to secure your family's future for 10 generations. You would think that this actor is perfectly safe. You would think that he is financially invincible. But then, a few years later, the news breaks. The actor is completely bankrupt. He owes millions of dollars in unpaid taxes. He has to sell all of his homes. He has to take any bad movie role he can find just to pay his debts. How does this happen? How does someone lose $150 million? It happens because of a fatal flaw in how humans think about money. The actor did not lose his money because he forgot how to act. He lost his money because his ego grew faster than his bank account. When he made $10 million, he did not save it. He bought multiple private islands. He bought giant empty castles in Europe. He bought bizarre, expensive things like dinosaur skulls. He bought a fleet of luxury sports cars that he never even drove. He used his hard-earned money to buy things that lost value, just to feel special. He bought things just to prove to the world how rich he was. This story teaches us a very simple, but very brutal lesson. The ability to make money and the ability to keep money are two completely different skills. In fact, they are opposite skills. Making money requires you to go out and work hard. Keeping money requires you to sit still, be quiet, and control your desires. Most people are only taught how to make money. No one teaches them how to keep it. And this is exactly what is happening to you right now, just on a smaller scale. You might not be buying private islands or dinosaur skulls, but the psychology is exactly the same. When you get that raise, you feel the exact same urge to upgrade your life. You feel the urge to show the world that you are moving up. And that is exactly how the system traps you. Let us look closely at your own life. Let us look at a simple concept called lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep is the silent killer of wealth. It is what happens when your daily expenses automatically rise to match your new income. Remember when you got your very first job? You were probably making a very low salary, maybe $40,000 a year. You lived in a tiny, simple apartment. Maybe you had roommates to split the rent. You drove an old, reliable car that you bought used for a few $1,000s. You ate simple, cheap meals at home, like pasta and chicken. You did not have a lot of luxury, but you survived. The math worked. You paid your bills. Now, look at you today. You are making twice or maybe 3 times as much money as you did back then. Logically, if you are making 3 times as much money, you should have a massive amount of savings. You should have a huge cushion of cash in your bank account, but you do not. Your bank account at the end of the month looks exactly the same as it did when you were broke. The number is close to zero. Why does this happen? Because as your income grew, your standard of living grew right along with it. You decided that you deserved better. You moved out of the small apartment with roommates and rented a fancy apartment in a luxury building downtown. You now pay double the rent just so you can have a nicer lobby, a swimming pool you never use, and stainless steel appliances in the kitchen. You traded in your old, reliable car and signed a 5-year loan for a brand new, expensive luxury SUV. You stopped making coffee at home and started paying $6 a cup at a fancy cafe every single morning. You stopped eating simple meals at home and started going to expensive restaurants on the weekends. You upgraded your phone to the newest model simply because the company released a new color. You justified every single one of these choices. You told yourself, I work hard, I deserve this. You told yourself that this is simply how a successful adult is supposed to live. But the truth is, you did not buy freedom. You just bought more expensive chains. The luxuries of yesterday became the absolute necessities of today. You can no longer imagine living in that small apartment or driving that old car. The thought of going back makes you feel like a failure, and because you cannot go back, you are trapped. You have to keep working that high-stress job just to pay for the expensive lifestyle you built around yourself. You are a prisoner in a cage you built yourself. And the banks are thrilled, because they collect the interest on your car loan and your credit cards every single month. Many financial experts will look at your spending habits and call you lazy. They will say you just lack discipline. They will say you buy expensive things because you are vain and want to show off. But they are missing a massive piece of the puzzle. They are missing the reality of the modern workplace. You do not just spend money because you want to look cool. You spend money because you are forced to pay something called the exhaustion tax. Let me explain what the exhaustion tax is, using a very simple example of your daily routine. Imagine your typical workday. You wake up early, before your body is ready. You sit in stressful bumper-to-bumper traffic for 45 minutes. You get to the office. For 9 or 10 hours, you deal with office politics, demanding bosses, angry clients, and a never-ending stream of urgent emails. Your brain is running at maximum capacity all day long. By the time you finally leave the office and fight traffic to get back home, you are completely drained. Your physical and mental energy is entirely gone. You walk through your front door. You know you should go to the kitchen, chop vegetables, and cook a healthy, cheap meal. But you simply do not have the energy. Your brain cannot handle one more task. So, what do? You pull out your phone, open a food delivery app, and order a $30 meal from a restaurant. You pay a delivery fee, a service fee, and a tip. You know it is a waste of money. You know you have food in the fridge, but you do it anyway. Why? Because you are not buying food. You are buying relief. You are buying an hour of rest. This is the exhaustion tax. You are paying a premium price just to recover from the job that pays you. Think about the expensive car you bought. You did not just buy it to show off to the neighbors. You bought it because after a horrible day at work, you desperately need a quiet, comfortable, soundproof box to sit in while you drive home. You need those heated leather seats and that premium sound system to soothe your stressed body. Think about the expensive weekend vacations you take. You do not spend $2,000 on a beach resort trip just to explore the world. You take that trip because you desperately need 2 days where no one is asking you to solve a problem. The system drains your energy, and then it sells you expensive products to help you cope with the exhaustion. You work harder to make more money, but the harder you work, the more exhausted you get. The more exhausted you get, the more exhaustion tax you have to pay. It is a vicious, endless circle. You are running on a treadmill, burning all your energy just to pay for the water to keep you running. The exhaustion tax is not the only way the system slowly drains your bank account. The system also uses technology to make spending money completely invisible. In the past, if you wanted to buy something, you had to hand over physical cash. You could see the green paper leaving your hand. It hurt to spend money. Today, the system has removed the pain of spending. Let us look at subscriptions. This is the digital drain. Look at your credit card statement right now. You probably pay $15 a month for a movie streaming service. You pay another $10 for a music app. You pay $5 for extra cloud storage for your photos. You pay $15 for fast shipping from an online store. None of these charges seem like a big deal. They are just tiny, invisible cuts, but they add up to hundreds of dollars a year. More importantly, they change your relationship with ownership. You do not own any of those movies. You do not own that music. You are simply renting the right to be entertained. If you lose your job and stop paying the monthly fee, the screen goes blank. The music stops. You are left with absolutely nothing. You are a permanent renter in your own life. And then there is the biggest trap of all, buying things on credit, or buying now and paying later. Imagine you are walking through an electronics store. You see a massive, beautiful, brand new television. It costs $2,000. You do not have $2,000 in your bank account, but the store offers you a deal. You can take the television home today and just pay $100 a month for the next 2 years. It sounds like a great deal. It feels like free money, but it is not. When you sign that contract, you are doing something terrifying. You are taking your future time, hours of your life that you have not even lived yet, and you are giving them to the bank. You are promising the bank that you will wake up, go to a job you might hate, and work for them to pay off a television that will be old and worthless by the time you make the final payment. You are trading your precious, limited time on Earth for a piece of plastic and glass. The system loves this. The system wants you in debt. When you are in debt, you are obedient. You cannot quit your job. You cannot take a risk. You cannot start a business. You have to keep showing up to work because you have a monthly payment due on the television, the car, and the phone. Debt is the glue that keeps you stuck to the floor of the rat race. Now, you might be thinking, I do not have debt. I do not buy expensive things. I just save my money in the bank. I am safe. This brings us to the biggest lie you were ever taught. You were taught that saving paper money in a bank account makes you secure. But let us look at a simple, real-world example that proves this is false. Think about going to the grocery store. Think about a basic basket of food, a carton of eggs, a gallon of milk, a loaf of bread, and a few pounds of chicken. 5 years ago, you could walk into the store, put those items in your cart, and pay $25. Today, you walk into the exact same store, buy the exact same eggs, the exact same milk, the exact same bread, and the exact same chicken. But today, the cashier tells you the total is $40. Did the food get better? No. Did the eggs become magical? No. The food is exactly the same. What changed is the money. The money in your pocket lost its power. It lost its value. This is called inflation. Inflation is not a natural disaster. It is a mathematical rule of the financial system. When the government and the banks need to pay for things, they do not go out and work for it. They simply create new money out of thin air. When they create more money, every single dollar that you already have becomes worth a little bit less. It is like taking a glass of juice and pouring water into it. The more water you pour, the weaker the juice gets. Further, that your money is being watered down every single day. So, when you put $10,000 in a savings account and leave it there for 5 years, you might look at your bank app and still see $10,000. The number looks the same. But the reality is that $10,000 can buy you much less food, much less gas, and much less housing than it could 5 years ago. Your money is melting like an ice cube left out in the sun. The system allows you to get a tiny raise at your job, maybe 3 or 4%, but then they let the cost of living increase by 10 or 20%. You feel like you are moving forward because your paycheck got bigger, but in reality, you are being pushed backward. Saving paper money is not safety. It is a slow, invisible robbery. You are trading your hard physical labor for paper that loses value while you sleep. To escape the rat race, you have to stop trusting the paper. To stop trusting the paper and start protecting yourself, you have to completely change the way your brain works. You have to understand that the world is divided into two distinct groups of people, consumers and producers. The education system trained you to be a consumer. A consumer is someone who looks at the world and asks, what can I buy to make myself feel good right now? Let us use a very simple example, a new smartphone. When a consumer looks at a brand new, expensive smartphone in a store window, they only think about one thing. They think about how cool they will look holding it. They think about the better pictures they can post on social media to impress their friends. They calculate how many hours they have to work to afford the monthly payment. They trade their hard-earned money for a tool of distraction. Now, look at how a producer views the exact same smartphone. A producer does not care about looking cool. When a producer looks at that phone, they see a machine. They see a tool that connects to billions of people around the world. A producer asks, how can I use this machine to create something that other people will pay for? A producer uses the phone to record videos, write helpful articles, or build a digital store. The consumer spends money to get the phone. The producer uses the phone to get money. The system desperately wants you to stay a consumer. The system wants you to take the money you earn from your job and immediately give it right back to big corporations in exchange for clothes, cars, and gadgets. It is a perfect, closed loop. You do all the hard work, and the companies get all your money. As long as your mind operates like a consumer, it does not matter how much your salary increases. If you make $5,000 a month, you will buy $5,000 worth of consumer goods. If you make $50,000 a month, you will simply buy more expensive consumer goods. Your bank account will always be empty. To break free, you must shift your identity. You must start looking at every dollar you earn not as a ticket to buy a new toy, but as a seed that can be planted to grow a tree. You must start thinking about how to create value for others, rather than just buying things for yourself. You must become the person selling the solution, not the person endlessly buying distractions. There is another massive hurdle you face, and it is a rule that the wealthy understand perfectly, while the working class ignores it. It is the rule of taxes. Again, let us use a very simple example to understand how the system is rigged. Imagine two people, an employee and a business owner. They both want to buy a new laptop to do their work. The laptop costs $2,000. The employee lives in a system we call post-tax. This means the employee goes to work, earns the money, and before they even see their paycheck, the government takes a huge chunk of it for taxes. The government takes their share first. To get the $2,000 to buy the laptop, the employee actually has to earn $3,000. The government takes $1,000 in taxes, and the employee is left with the $2,000 needed to buy the computer. The employee is punished for working hard. The business owner lives in a completely different system. We call this pre-tax. The business owner runs their money through a legal business entity. When the business owner earns $3,000, they do not pay taxes immediately. The rules allow the business owner to buy the laptop first. The business owner buys the $2,000 laptop as a business expense. Now, the business only has $1,000 of profit left. The government only taxes that remaining $1,000. The business owner gets to buy the tools they need to survive with untaxed money. They pay taxes only on what is left over. The employee pays taxes on everything and tries to survive on what is left over. This is not illegal. This is exactly how the rules are written. The system rewards people who build businesses. The system penalizes people who simply collect a paycheck. When your only goal in life is to get a higher salary at your corporate job, you are volunteering to pay more taxes. You are pushing yourself into a higher tax bracket. You are working harder and harder, but the government is taking a bigger and bigger slice of your pie. You will never truly get ahead if you only play by the rules of the employee. You have to start learning the rules of the producer. You have to start learning how to structure your life so that you keep more of the money you earn. Even if you learn the rules of money, even if you avoid lifestyle creep, and even if you understand taxes, you still have to fight the hardest battle of all. You have to fight social pressure. You have to fight the opinions of other people. Let us look at a simple, everyday example. Imagine you are invited to a dinner party with your coworkers. These are people who make the same high salary as you. You sit at the table. Everyone is drinking expensive wine. The coworker to your left is bragging about the new luxury car he just leased. The coworker to your right is talking about the massive new house she just bought, taking out a huge mortgage that she will be paying off for the next 30 years. Now, look at you. You drove to the dinner party in a perfectly fine, 7-year-old car. You rent a simple, affordable apartment. You are wearing clean, normal clothes that do not have giant, expensive logos on them. When your coworkers look at you, what do they think? They do not see your bank account. They only see your car and your clothes. They assume you are struggling. They feel a little bit of pity for you. They think you are failing at the game of life because you do not have the shiny toys they have. This is the moment where most people break. Most people cannot handle being looked down upon. The human brain is wired to want to fit in with the group. The urge to be accepted is incredibly powerful. So, most people leave that dinner party, go straight to the car dealership, and sign a terrible loan just to prove to their coworkers that they are successful. They buy things they do not need, with money they do not have, to impress people they do not even like. If you want to escape the rat race, you have to become completely comfortable with people thinking you are poor. You have to let them pity you. You have to sit at that dinner party in your normal clothes, driving your normal car, and smile. You have to know in your heart that while they are drowning in debt to look rich, you are quietly building a fortress of actual wealth. You have to understand that true financial freedom is invisible. It does not look like a sports car. It looks like peace of mind. It looks like the ability to sleep well at night knowing you owe nothing to anyone. You have to stop caring about the opinions of people who are trapped in the cage. So, how do you actually escape? How do you break the cage? You need a real plan, not just wishful thinking. The escape plan happens in 3 simple steps. First, you must build what we call the Dignity Shield. The Dignity Shield is an emergency fund, but it is not just for fixing a broken tire or a leaky roof. It is for protecting your soul. You need to save up exactly 6 to 12 months of your basic living expenses. Keep it in cash. Keep it safe. Do not invest it. This money is your shield. When you have 12 months of cash sitting in the bank, everything changes. You no longer walk into your job as a hostage. If your boss treats you badly, you do not have to accept it. If the company asks you to do something unethical, you do not have to do it. You can simply say no and walk away, knowing you will not starve. The Dignity Shield buys you the power to stand up for yourself. It buys your self-respect. Second, you must stop trading hours for dollars. If you only get paid when you are physically working, your income has a hard limit. You only have 24 hours in a day. You have to create something that sells while you sleep. Think about writing a simple guide, recording a video course, or building a helpful spreadsheet. You do the work one time. You spend a week creating it. Then, you put it on the internet. 100 people can buy it. 1,000 people can buy it. You do not have to work any extra hours to serve the 1,000th customer. Your time is finally separated from your income. You become a producer. You build a machine that works for you, so you do not have to be the machine. Third, you must use your extra money to buy hard assets. Stop holding on to paper money that melts away with inflation. When you make extra money from your digital products or your job, use it to buy things that hold real value. Buy tiny pieces of successful, profitable companies through simple index funds. If you have enough money, buy a small property that pays you rent every month. You are trading your weak paper money for pieces of the real world. You are building an army of assets that work for you 24 hours a day. They do not get sick. They do not complain. They just quietly generate money, slowly replacing your need to work a traditional job. This is not a fast process. It takes years of extreme discipline. It means working late at night while everyone else is watching television. It means saving your money while your friends are spending theirs. But it is the absolute only way out. We have covered a lot of ground today. We have looked at the brutal reality of the system we live in. We have seen how a higher salary is often just an illusion, a bigger cage that tricks you into spending more money. We have explored the trap of lifestyle creep, where the luxuries of yesterday become the expensive necessities of today. We have examined the exhaustion tax, where you are forced to buy relief just to recover from the job that is supposed to support you. We have exposed the digital drain of subscriptions and the terrifying trap of buying things on credit that steal your future time. We have seen how inflation melts away your savings at the grocery store, proving that hoarding paper money is a losing game. We have talked about the vital difference between a consumer who buys distractions and a producer who builds solutions. We have uncovered the tax advantages that businesses use to build wealth, while employees foot the bill. And we have discussed the intense social pressure you must overcome, the courage it takes to let people think you are average while you quietly build your empire. All of this comes down to one final, ultimate truth. The system measures success by the brand of your car, the size of your house, and the title on your business card. But the system is lying. The accumulation of money and luxury goods is completely meaningless if it does not buy you your freedom. If making more money simply means you have to work harder, stress more, and surrender more of your life to a corporation just to pay bigger bills, then you are not wealthy. You are just a highly paid servant. True wealth has nothing to do with what you can buy. True wealth is measured entirely by distance. It is the distance between you and the necessity of asking another human being for permission to live your life. It is the number of days you can wake up and decide exactly what you want to do with your time. The money in your bank account is simply a tool. It is a hammer and a saw. You use it to smash the locks on the cage and build a door to the outside. The ultimate goal is not to be rich in the eyes of your neighbors. The ultimate goal is to possess the absolute, unshakable power to look at a demanding boss, a toxic job, or a system that wants to drain your soul, and calmly say, "No, the choice is yours, the cage is open. Start building your shield today."